If someone can't talk about what they've learned from past relationship, that's going to be important information. One of the most valuable conversations you can have early on in a relationship is about their relationship history. Not necessarily to dwell on the past, but to understand growth and what they've learned from past relationships. Hi, my name is Tristan Gallardo Stewart. I'm a licensed marriage and family therapist and licensed professional clinical counselor located in California who prioritizes helping people heal and grow. Now, when it comes to past relationship dynamics, you're really going to be asking three main questions. The first one is, what have you learned from your past relationships? The second is going to be, what patterns are you trying not to repeat? And the third is going to be, what qualities have you learned are important to you in a partner? So, why is it important to ask the person, what did your previous relationships teach you? It's important because you're not looking for someone that has a perfect dating history because that's just not going to happen. You're looking to see if the person has self awareness. Can they identify the lessons that they've learned in being in those past relationships? And can they reflect on what did and what didn't work with that relationship? Now, one of the things in asking what somebody has learned in past relationships and why self awareness is so important is because it's seeing if that person noticed any patterns that they don't want to be repeating in future relationships. Remembering that the goal isn't to have any baggage, but the goal is knowing what you're carrying and what you're trying to do to work through that. And lastly, past relationships, when you have that level of self awareness, should show you what characteristics or personality traits you really are looking for in a partner. Past relationships often help us clarify what truly matters to us and what qualities we're really looking for in a partner, whether that's trustworthiness, emotional availability, communication skills, kindness, shared values, like I talked about in my previous video, and accountability. So, in retrospect, what you're really looking for when you're asking about past relationship dynamics is you're not trying to figure out whether the ex was the problem or whether the person in front of you was the problem. You're listening to see if the person in front of you can take accountability, if they have a certain level of self reflection, if they have personal growth, and if you see emotional maturity. Can they talk about the relationship without blaming everyone else? Can they identify their own areas of growth? Those answers can tell you a lot. Just remember that the goal of this conversation isn't to interrogate somebody about their exes. It's to understand how that person has grown from the past relationships, what they've learned, and whether they're bringing self awareness into their next relationship. Don't forget to follow along as our next conversation will be all about goals.